to hear you. This says mute. Chat. No. Maybe I'll try the other one. I don't hear you. I'm going to try the other. Can't hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay, we're good. I was going to try the iPad.
I don't think Tony has his headphones on yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he said, wait a minute.
I'm not wearing these glasses. What is your name? I've met you before.
Hi, Doug. I'm Frank. I'm Tony's brother.
Okay, Frank.
Nice
Doug.
to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
And you are
Where are you
watching
guys?
Gov's Radio.
Where are you guys filming?
This is
You
where
told me
go
the name
if
of
you
it,
wanna
but
see
what
something,
town
or
is
if
it
you want
in?
to hear something.
He's in
Coming
Levittown.
up just a couple
Okay.
minutes. This is
And
a
I'm in
joke I
West
told-
Babylon.
What?
Okay,
I'm
Long
not
Island.
on
Yes.
Gov Radio?
Yeah.
Call the
I'm
police.
in
Call
Jersey.
my agent.
Nice.
Do-
I just heard about the Studio Deluxe last week. Actually, I saw a couple of videos. It's amazing.
Oh man, that's great to hear. I've been doing it for a couple of years, and it's just like people don't really know. I think I don't know. You
Tony,
know,
welcome
it's
to
hard-
Hey,
it's hard to
how are you?
judge.
Yeah,
Let
right.
you down though, pal.
Oh
yeah? Yeah.
But that's great. That
Got anything
you're
on you?
hearing
Anything
about
I
it.
should know?
Yeah.
Anything weird going on?
You got great people with you too. It's
What?
great.
oh, I have amazing people.
All right, you go in, Tony. Good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
amazing people, no doubt.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do an interview, or will both of you guys do it? Like it's
He does the bulk of it. I'm kind of like Ed McMahon of the whole thing.
okay, but both of you, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you call it? What is it? Is it on YouTube mostly?
Yes, it's on YouTube Live, and it'll be there permanently after.
Hi, I'm Tom
Okay.
Kelly of the
And
Tom
what is
Kelly Show.
How do you look
Yes.
it up? What do you
This
call
is
it?
not the only time
It's,
I've gotten on my knees in the back.
Gov's Comedy Club Gov's Comedy Club podcast, and the show is called Knockin' Dead Comedy.
Okay, right. I did see that in the email. Okay,
Yeah, it's all run by Tony.
okay,
Yeah, so he's
okay. But that's the name of it. That's
Yeah.
the name of it.
and I think he's gonna put up a Facebook link any minute now if he already hasn't done it. I think he did actually do it. Yep, there it is. It's on Facebook and he tagged you on it.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's not live. We're not live yet.
No, not yet. Probably about 2-3 minutes.
Okay. No. How long do you run? Not too long, right? Don't get bored. If it's too long, or do you need a certain amount?
Well, the show is an hour and a half. I think it's, it's up to the two of you, I guess, how long you want to go.
Okay. Okay.
It could be the whole thing if you wanted to do that, sure.
Yeah. No. I think people will be bored. I think they'll be bored of me. I hope my phone. Let's see. If I put my phone.
The Knockin' Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the
not
leader
sure. I
in
hear
auto
pretty good
body
now.
repairs and customer
happens if I-
satisfaction on
Let me
Long
turn it
Island.
on silent
Two
in case
Eagles
I get a
Auto
call,
Body
right?
handles every type of auto
Okay.
repair, from custom
see if it
applications
silences
and
us.
restorations to repairs involving insurance claims.
Are you
Give
there?
Two Eagles
I
Auto
hear
Body
you.
a call,
Oh,
and
okay.
please ask for
I'll
John
leave it on
Rossi
silent
at
then.
516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Okay. Yeah. Am I a good distance from that, or
Yeah,
should
that's
I?
good. That looks good.
Okay.
Just setting up.
Hey, how do you say there, people?
Probably
It's Johnny
the next
Brennan,
couple
creator of the
couple
Jerky
minutes.
Voice, also of Fox TV's Family
So
Guy
you're just going
fame.
live right now from the beginning.
I just want to
Pretty
let you
soon,
know
yeah.
you're listening
Yeah.
to Tony
He'll do an
on the
introduction
Knock 'em
and
Dead radio show.
Get things going.
They're
Okay.
gonna keep knocking 'em dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet
I'm just
Charlie.
watching him to see what he's doing.
Long time no
Okay.
see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man. That Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey, Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with. and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Let's give a big shout out to Tony Walker.
Tony Walker, who's a friend of mine.
Tony Walker.
Tony Walker.
Tony Walker, everybody. Stand up, Tony. Where are you? Tony Walker. Thank you so much, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Walker. Our favorite. We love you. Let's get.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It is Thursday. Welcome, everybody, to the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Show. Happy Thursday to you all. Thanks for joining us. The Knock 'em Dead Comedy Show coming at you here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, Facebook page, YouTube. Wherever you're watching from, we ask that you subscribe and follow and do all that social media stuff and share the link to the show on all your socials. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. We're the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Show. We're coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, New York, and we got a great show for you guys today. Frank is here, of course. Why are you not here? What is the story here?
There was a bunch of car issues here, so I had to be home for all that.
A bunch of car issues. All right.
Yeah, that's easier to say.
All right. Well, that really explained a lot. All right, but joining us today on Zoom, all the way from New Jersey, and we won't hold that against him. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Kistner is here. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug Kistner is here. Doug, a great musician. I first got to know Doug through the Lords of 52nd Street, only then to find out that this man is just a ball of talent. He's out there with a project called Studio Deluxe, where he's been releasing a lot of great tunes, featuring a lot of names that you guys might know. So, Doug, welcome to the show, pal. How are you?
I'm good, Tony. Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely. Good to see you. It's been a while. All right. Well, before we get into things, I got a bunch of questions for you, Doug. But before we get into it, I guess I'll ask you both about the big news. This week we've had two big passings in the music world: Sly Stone and Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. I don't know if either one of you had wanted to say anything or touch upon that.
Yeah, just immense talent. Sly Stone, damn. And Brian Wilson, what are you going to amazing.
I think Sly Stone gets a little lost a little bit because he hasn't done anything in years, and so a lot of people I think know his music but don't really know him or the scope of his talent, all the great songs he made. But Brian Wilson. I mean, everybody knows Brian Wilson, the genius behind the Beach Boys. I mean, pretty much anything worthwhile that the Beach Boys did was Brian Wilson. I think like 90%, 97% of what they did was Brian Wilson, and what they did without him there was a lot of crap. Frank, nothing?
No, one of the things I saw on today was that someone called him the modern day Mozart. And I think that's a pretty good description.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've had the pleasure of seeing him live, which
Me too.
Yeah, he was great. He was really great. John is watching. Andrea is watching. Good morning, everybody. We're hanging out with Doug Kistner, Studio Deluxe. Let's get into this. First off, let's explain the name first. What's Studio Deluxe? Is that where you record the music? What's the story behind the name?
No, I guess it can be confusing. It's not really a studio, but it's a studio project. That's how it began.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was just searching for names, and since it was like a studio project, I just kind of incorporated that, and the D sort of was maybe an initial for my name, but the Deluxe I thought sounded cool, and so I just ended up with that one. And my friend Bobby Lynch made the logo, which is cool.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's go with that. So it's not a studio per se, but a studio project.
Okay, nice.
So that's where the name came from.
And then there's so you've been putting out songs under that name, even though it's pretty much, I mean, you're pretty much the genius behind it. We're talking about Brian Wilson, the genius behind the Beach Boys, but meanwhile, Studio Deluxe isn't. Yeah, like you said, it's a project. It's not necessarily a band. I mean, you have other guys, but it's really you.
Right. Well, it's right. It's not necessarily a band. Liberty DeVito is the only guy apart from myself that's on every song.
Okay.
So he's signed on. Like he played on a song of mine, and then I was able to get Bill Champlin from Chicago. I'm a huge fan of Bill's, and so he sang on a tune, and then I realized, wow, this is kind of special here. I got Liberty and Bill on these songs.
Heavyweights.
And then, yep. It's just having them on the tunes, brings it to the next level for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Right. So, Liberty said, yeah, I want to, let me know when we're doing the next one. So it's just like Liberty was played on all the songs. And, then I started getting different guitarists, John Harrington from Steely Dan and Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake and all the other things that he does. He played on a tune. Lee Loughnane from Chicago did a horn arrangement on Not in a Million Years, which I was amazed that we got a legit Chicago horn arrangement.
Yeah, right.
And solo by him on one of the songs. Yeah.
Wow.
And Keith Howland's been playing the guitar. He was with Chicago for almost 30 years.
Right, yeah.
He played on the most recent ones. It's just an amazing amount of talent. And I just work. I write the songs and I kind of get it going and pull the guys together.
Doug? What's the process? Because you're just like it hasn't. You haven't put out an album. You're just sporadically new songs are coming out. So
exactly.
Are you just writing them and then working on each one as you write them, or is there some kind of plan? Is there an album coming? What's the whole process here? What's the plan?
Well, it's sort of happened by accident, and that I was doing it. It was just a creative thing to do, and then I realized it's so hard to a couple things. Like, it's so hard to get people to listen, and also I want to write really good songs. So if I had to write 10 songs within a few months, or whatever, there might be one good one, So I'm just like trying to do the best music that I could do, and then just release them, one by one as we create them. Because I think if I put an album out, of all new material, how many songs are people going to listen to? It's so hard to get them played. So I'm just sort of building it in that way. But I have enough songs now to release an album, which would just be a compilation of what we've done.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So in fact, I have a new one coming out June 27th in a couple weeks.
Nice.
And I was going to have the album with this song, but it got too busy trying to, because I'm putting a video together also. So it was just too much work to put it together with all the songs and the distribution, because the songs are already out.
Right.
It was a little trickier to put them out again on an album digitally with all the rules that these distribution Apple has. Anyway, that's kind of getting into the weeds. But so I have another one coming out in a couple of weeks, and Lee Sklar, legendary bass player, from Carole King and James Taylor and Phil Collins.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's on the latest one. So
very nice.
I can't wait to put that out. I hope people respond to that. I mean, that's just amazing to have him on the project.
Wow. All right. So how are you? Well, let me point out for anybody that hasn't heard any of it yet. You can go to iTunes or wherever you get your songs. Studio Deluxe. You see the right above Frank there. You can see the logo, so you know how to spell it. If you like Chicago, if you like Michael McDonald, that soulful rock. I'm not a big fan of the term yacht rock, but I know you've used it, so I'll use it here. If you like that kind of stuff, you'll really enjoy the Studio Deluxe tunes. And absolutely, I really enjoyed it. And the you've mentioned some of the names: Liberty DeVito, Bill Champlin, other members of Chicago. Glenn Burtnick is also one of the guys on one or two of your songs.
That's right.
How are you getting these guys? I mean, you're playing keyboards at the Lords of 52nd Street from pretty much from their inception, but so is it? Is it through? Are you able to like I do it here at Governor's when I try to get guests on the show? I use the Governor's name. I that gives me a little leverage. Some people think I'm legit. Because I throw that name out. Meanwhile, they have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. So, is that? Do you contact a guy like Bill Champlin and say, "Hey, Liberty DeVito's playing on my stuff," and then Bill Champlin's like, "Oh, okay." Like, does that give you a little legitimacy, or you're just throwing in $300 to record some vocals? Like, how did that all happen? Getting these guys?
I mean, for everybody, it's probably been a little different. I didn't know him very well, but I met him.
Yeah.
Several times, and he had heard some stuff that I was doing and said, you sound really good.
Nice.
So it wasn't a stretch, I don't think, to get him. Although when I said, whenever you say, "Oh, Liberty DeVito's on the drums," they'll be like, "Oh, okay, let me check it out."
Right. Absolutely.
That never hurts.
Right.
That never hurts. Like Elliot Randall played on the first song, "Ain't Good Enough," was sort of the first one that I called the Studio Deluxe, and I didn't know him from Adam. I got his email through his website, and and I said, Liberty and Bill were on it, and so he said, "Yeah, let me hear it. Sounds interesting," and he loved it.
Wow.
So the more I do, it's kind of like it gives it a little more legitimacy, I think. And guys they want to make music.
Right.
They want to record good music. There's so much garbage, and they don't really get a chance to play.
Right.
Like Keith Howland, just really enjoyed being able to. I said, do what you want to do to these songs. Same with John Harrington. Like, what would play? Here's the track. Paint your picture. Do what you want to do on it. And
yeah.
I never have to tell these guys. We might edit a little part out or repeat it or move it or whatever, maybe. But I never have to, like these guys. I never have to say, try something else or we didn't like it.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that must be like to tell somebody like Bill Champlin, "Hey, can you not sing that? Try it this way instead." Like, I don't know. I'd be scared to do that.
Yeah, right. Well, I really don't have to. I really don't have to say that at all. Like, it's very exciting to get their tracks too. Like with Liberty, I'm in the studio with him when we do the drums.
Yeah.
And even with him, sometimes, he'll say like, "Should I go to the ride there?" Or, like we're very comfortable working together. So,
yeah.
You just trying to make the track work. So,
well, let's not fool ourselves here. You try to tell Liberty DeVito to change something, he might get violent.
He takes it out on the drums.
Good answer. I did see. I watched the interview you did with John Bowden a few years ago.
Oh wow! Right. He's got a big channel.
Yeah, love John.
It was really nice of him to do it.
Yeah, Yeah, great guy. I've had some conversations with him, and actually, I'm working on getting him on this show. I'd love to talk to him. And you had mentioned in there, I think he had asked you like how you got some of these guys, and you said the same thing. Like you had met Bill Champlin a bunch of times, and I'm a big fan of his as well, and I know Frank is also.
He's so great.
But you said in that interview that you don't remember how you got Bill Champlin's email to contact him.
Right.
And I'm thinking, I saw your Facebook. You got a lot of pictures with the band Chicago. I'm thinking like you had the red light in the bathroom stalking. That's what I'm thinking.
No, I don't remember. We met many times, for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, he was doing some recording in New Jersey, which I couldn't believe. And somebody called me, said, "Come down to the studio. Bill's here." Like, really?
Wow.
The guy lives in L.A. and this is 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But I even met him then. But I usually I had met him at a Chicago concert.
Right.
But I don't remember how I got his email. I really don't.
We had him on this show, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, around there somewhere. And as a fan of his music, I knew nothing about the man personally. I don't think I've ever seen. I maybe have seen very few interview clips. I just knew his music. I had no idea what to expect, from the man himself. And of course, I was told in advance, 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, no, I'm happy just to have him on.
Yeah.
Not only was he the nicest guy in the world, but he was like friendly, joking around.
Yeah.
And he was much like Liberty too. They're willing to go anywhere. Like they'll talk about anything. And we did 90 minutes with Bill, and only because the show ended at 90 minutes. I think if we told Bill, we'll extend another 90, I think he would have kept going.
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
Right, he's funny. He's very funny.
And then the one thing I always took out of that interview was we asked him if he knew how many recordings he had been on, because Bill Champlin, he, had his solo career. He had the Sons of Champlins in the 60s and 70s.
Session man.
But session man extraordinaire. I mean, he's played with Clapton. He's backed up everybody. And he, for those of you who aren't familiar with him, After the Love Is Gone by Earth, Wind and Fire, he wrote that. He wrote Look Away, wrote and sang it with Chicago, like trying to give people an idea. Hard Habit to Break, he's one of the singers on that. But so we asked him if he had any idea how many recordings he had been on. He said over 360, which I don't know. You think about that. I mean, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah. He was doing sessions all the time. I mean, lots of David Foster productions. He would call Bill to do the background vocals. On the tubes. He's singing on the tubes.
Right,
song. So many.
Over 360. That, I don't know. To me, that was just a crazy number to me. I mean, think about how many songs that is. I mean, I don't know. I was just blown away by that number. And I have to say, when on these recordings, you do, to me, your voice even sounds like Robert Lamb. So Chicago, I'm assuming because of Champlin and Howland and Loughnane, I'm assuming you must be like a huge Chicago guy.
Yeah, since I was 10 years old. And they never, as a kid, sometimes you're into whatever because you're 10 years old.
Right.
But it just so happens that Chicago was they were amazing. Their music was just timeless and incredible. And the band was so talented. Even when they changed some players, because of whatever, they were always great,
Yeah.
So, lifelong Chicago fan. Just totally.
I do agree
musician.
with you. I do agree, but that original lineup, those first 3 or 4 albums are just unbelievable.
With Terry and Peter, that was the ultimate band.
I mean, Terry Kath. I mean, you another guy you just don't hear enough about. I mean, the stuff he did back then. I mean, Hendrix said that was his favorite guitar player.
Yep,
Yeah.
blew him away. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. To me, when you sing, you sound a little like Robert Lamb.
Hey, thanks. Thank you.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
I play with Beginnings, the Chicago Tribute Beginnings. I play with them now and then again.
Right.
And I sing all the Robert Lamb songs. So I really enjoy doing that because, yeah, that's right in my wheelhouse. Just vocally, and the sound is just similar to him, even though, he influenced me greatly.
And I don't know, Frank, you might know this. Who's left in Chicago? Is Locknane the only one left at this point? The original
Actually,
members?
yeah. I just saw the other day a video where it's just Lockney's on the original, and Neil Donnell, the singer, is the only one is singing the bulk of the songs. Robert Lamb's not even there anymore.
Yeah, and Pankow isn't there anymore either, right? James
No.
Pankow?
Well, I think they are, but I think they've missed a gig now and then.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Oh,
But,
okay.
yeah, I think they missed a show or two, and so it was just Lee apparently. But Lamb and Pankow are still should be on this summer tour coming up.
Okay, good.
What's your take on that as a guy who plays in a few tribute bands? I mean, if you go to see Chicago, I mean, not only is it maybe 1, 2, or 3 original guys, but it's not the guys that are there, with the exception of those 3. The rest of them, these aren't even guys that played on any of the hits, like nothing that that the bulk of the audiences know. Does that just take away from seeing them? You don't care? What's your feeling on that?
Well, with Chicago, for me, it's kind of different, because it's personal. I've seen them since I was 10. I saw them, you know what I mean? So I've always seen them. And yeah, in the last number of years, it seems a little bit, a little strange that you're not sure who the guys are.
Right.
But I mean, seeing, so let's leave it at that. I mean, but seeing Robert Lamb and Jimmy Pankow on stage is just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Lee's been such a good friend. He's, it's great to see them, and the band still sounds strong. But yeah, it can be a little bit weird.
Yeah.
When there's people singing that you don't know who they are.
Right. I mean, for crying out loud, I mean, the Lords, at least, I mean, the Lords even say it in their show. We're not a tribute band. I mean, because, right. I mean, they played on those songs.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like fans.
And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with the Studio Deluxe, because I'm so tired of tribute bands. I want to do let's do something new.
Yes, agreed.
And that's kind of doing it out of frustration. Let's make because a lot of these bands they're not making new music, and sometimes when they do, it's not nearly as great as what they did.
Right.
So the whole tribute thing is just everywhere. Everything's a tribute to this, tribute to that. And it's like,
yes.
Well, I'm gonna at least do something that's not a tribute.
And
whether we fail or succeed, whatever, at least we're gonna do it.
That's exactly how I see it. At least they're trying. At least they're still doing it. There's plenty of guys that are old and people just want to see and hear, certain hits. But there are guys out there still putting quality material out. I mean, even the Stones, their last album was amazing.
That's cool.
I thought it was.
That's cool.
And I like what you're saying. Put out something new. Keep it going. I've had the pleasure. I've interviewed Liberty. I've interviewed Russell. I've interviewed Richie at his studio, which was an amazing day for me to be able to he gave me a personalized tour of his studio, and he's pointing at a piano where Ray Charles sat and played, and awards and pictures are all over the place. It was just amazing. But I even said to him, the Lords need to do something. They need to put out something. And he was completely against it. I think I did a little bit, gave him a little light bulb moment, but he still turned it down. But I had said, because those guys, the three of them, at some point or another, all stopped working with Billy, and he, did lots of music after their time with him. I told them they should make an album of songs of Billy's that he put out after they were out of the band, so we can hear their spin and how their feel on those songs. He liked the idea. He still turned me down, but I'm still hoping maybe it's in the back of his head somewhere that he'll do it, because I would love to hear those guys do some of those songs.
Well, it's great that he's worked his way back to playing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
This is his. This was Richie Cannata's second time where he was down and out for a while. So the man's a fighter. And good for him, because he's an amazing musician, and the three of them,
he is.
The three of them are so fun to watch. And you guys, you do such a great show. I've had the pleasure of seeing you guys many times. Unfortunately, not lately. I haven't seen you guys since David Clark left the band. But
okay.
But still, you guys are just amazing, and So whatever you can do to push that along, convince those guys to make a record.
I agree.
All right. I don't know how much pull you have. I don't know, but try to push.
Very little. Very little.
Is there? I don't. So you've had some well-known, fantastic musicians.
Oh,
he's gone.
We lost him.
All right. Let's see if he comes back.
Oh no.
Oh, that was weird.
Huh.
I wonder if he's like us, having internet issues.
It could be, yeah.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Either that or we pissed him off. Tell me to make an album with them.
I was just watching. I saw he was doing something with his phone, and then.
Was he? He was messing with his phone?
I think he was doing something. Yeah, he might have maybe hit something.
Yeah. Maybe he was like, screw these guys.
There he comes.
Okay. There he is.
We got a phone call and the whole thing went off.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, it's on silent, whatever. Yeah.
Was it Cannata? Don't talk to this jerk off. That's great. So so you've worked with all these great musicians, these known musicians. Are there any that you still like who's still on your bucket list? And then I don't know if you can share it or not, but is there anybody that we know, like a known musician, that you've asked that said, no way?
I don't think anybody turned me down.
Oh,
that
nice.
I was able to reach. I would love to have like Steve Lukather play the freaking guitar.
Nice.
I'd love to have it. He's on the list. Well, I did when I talked to Lee Loughnane about playing on the track. I said, "Do you think you could have the whole section? Do you think Jimmy would play on it too?" And he said it'll probably be just me. So, which I said, "Oh, that's awesome."
Yeah, of course.
But so you could say that I couldn't get Jimmy. That's true.
Right.
But other than that, I don't have a way to reach Lukather, but he's like on tour, and he's just, that guy. That's not going to happen.
That guy is just not. He's one of those that's just nonstop.
Yeah.
Steve Lukather from Toto. Yeah, he is just always. His name is always somewhere. The guy. I don't think the guy's taken a vacation in 30 years.
Yeah. Right.
It's crazy.
But Keith Howland, I really love playing with him, and he has a very much like a Lukather style, and he does his own thing. But,
all right, I agree with that.
I'm gonna keep doing it. Keith's gonna play the guitar. That's if I have my way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He'll be playing on it. Yep.
Any live shows planned? I mean that would be.
We've been trying. That's like the key to really get the thing to take off more, is playing live, and it's just been hard with everybody's schedule. Everybody's got something, their project that they're trying to do, and their other work that they have.
Right.
So that's been the problem.
Yeah, I mean, well,
to do it, yeah.
But to do a live show at Studio Deluxe, I mean, like in your head, it would have like would you? You can't do it without Liberty or Bill, or or anybody else, or yeah. Is that how you look at it?
Yeah, that's the tricky part of it. Like, it would be great to have Liberty, Bill, and Keith, or John Harrington came down to rehearsal. We started to do that, but then he had all these tours happening, so it didn't work. But
you would, but because they're your songs, you wouldn't go out there on your own and call it Studio Deluxe. Like, you would have to have at least Liberty, Bill, and Keith.
I mean, I feel like it's an all-star project. Like, I gotta have some name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Been on it, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I guess I could. We could, but I'd rather not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'd rather have it something really special.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have a cool set list of songs that we would do, covers that we would do. So it would really go over. I mean, we'd play some original music, some of the original tunes, and lots of cool stuff.
Play some of their stuff.
Play some of their stuff. Yep, some Chicago, some Doobie, some cool classic rock things, some Boz Scaggs or something like that.
Sure. Very nice. Yeah, that would be
a really cool set of music.
That would be something to to see that live. I mean, I don't, where you see Liberty and Champlin together. So that would be a great show, man, to see those two powerhouses.
Yeah.
Doing something together. Yeah. Wow.
Yep, that would be great. It would be cool.
You mentioned covers. So the one cover that you've put out is a version of the Doors' "The Crystal Ship," which I love. You did you did a totally different spin on it, and I think it's great. I love the Doors, and I love that song, but I love when people take stuff and make it work differently. So what made you decide to do that, and like, why that song of all songs? Like, what was your thought process there?
I was kind of doing it on on solo gigs. I was just playing that song, and I started to change the chords a little bit, and I was like, these are cool, these are cool chord changes, and I started to play it a little bit differently. And when I listened to the Doors version, to me, like just from the nature of when it was recorded or whatever, it was like, this is really not a good recording of the song. I thought the recording was really lacked.
You're talking about not the band itself. You're talking about the quality, the production.
Yeah, just the production of that song. And of course, it's not Light My Fire. I wouldn't touch that. But Crystal Ship was sort of a left of center kind of song, and I just felt like I could do this totally different. That's why I said that's why I did it, because I knew it. It wasn't the best recording by the Doors, and I thought I could do something different with it.
Well, it's funny you mentioned.
That's why I chose it. It was just sort of like. That's why.
Well, it's funny you mentioned "Light My Fire" because that's a perfect example. Ronnie Millsap's version is fantastic too.
Oh wow! Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, it's totally different, right?
Yeah, totally different, but it works. So, that's what I mean. I love when different takes on the same song, but they're both really good.
What's the purpose of doing it?
Right.
If you don't change it up.
Yeah, but
why would you do it?
I do think there are some songs that, like you said, that are untouchable, like "Stairway." Yeah. I don't want to hear anybody else do "Stairway." I don't care what they do with it.
No, I would never touch a song that's that's such a perfect song and recording and everything. Only if I felt like it could be done better and differently.
Have you tried any other covers that you want to eventually put out, or?
Yeah, I was thinking of doing something with Bill with the Gladys Knight song, but Bill's like, man, she is so great. We have to make sure that we really do it. That we'll have to. And I said, yeah, no, we're going to do a different groove for the song, and we'll see. So if it doesn't work, we'll know right away. But so we might do a Gladys Knight and Pips reworking. We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see. It's got to be different and work and be funky. We'll see.
So Bill Champlin will be a Pip.
Well.
So we're talking to Doug Kistner, fantastic musician. He's got a project out called Studio Deluxe. If you look it up on any of your streaming or however you get your music, it's out there. If you even go on YouTube, you can find Studio Deluxe and even some other things Doug has put out, like his version of Crystal Ship by the Doors. One of your originals that I don't think is a Studio Deluxe project, but I really loved it, a song called Don't Look Down. I thought that was great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I did my homework, man. I did my homework. No messing around around here. Let's see.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Let's see. Let me go back to the comments and see what's cooking around here. And from California, she's watching. John Rusiello, the music world lost a legend, in my opinion. There was no one greater. He never got into political comments. His music was just about fun and entertainment. John, are you talking about Brian Wilson? It would help if you told us who you're talking about. Let's see. Okay. What happened? I don't know. All right. So I'm reading the comments. John, what happened at 2:15 yesterday? I don't know what that's about. Okay. And Andrea Carrill, I once told Liberty's wife, "I love your husband." That could have gone another way. Oh, all right.
Sounds like trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, we'll take pictures if you have them. Andrew Fremder, I'm going to start a tribute band about a bald podcast host. Nobody will watch. Nobody's, it's hard enough getting people to watch this. You think they're going to watch you? Let's see. All right, Fremder. Who knows what Fremder's got here? Let me see what he says. I used to date a hot musician chick that wanted me to pay for her breast implants. When I said no, she wrote a song about it in A flat. Oh goodness, that was a long way to get to a bad joke, Fremder. Let's see. Okay. We have a lot of steady viewers. I don't even like to call them viewers. I just call them extended family. And one of them had a birthday the other day. Happy birthday, Ann. John, one of our other viewers, sent her some gifts, and it looks like she received it. It's a gift basket full of cookies and sweet treats. Wow. Cookies for everyone. Yeah, I'll take some. Let's see. Okay. All right. There you go. All right. That's all the comments. I thought there would be more comments about us, but that's all right. All right. So, Doug, you're a full-time musician, right? I mean, because I know you play in a lot of Broadway productions and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm full-time.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, the gigs change. There's various gigs. They come and go. Yeah, they come and go. There's different gigs.
A lot of hustle involved to get the gigs, or are you at a point where your phone rings?
Well, a little of both. Sometimes I mean, I've been more hustling with this project, getting that going and doing that. So
right.
I'm not hunting for gigs at the moment.
Nice.
Because I'm working on this,
Well, I mean, but even that,
yeah.
The fact that you're able to, put the time in and not have to worry about, what gig do I have tomorrow? That's a lot, man. You're living the dream. That's fantastic.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like that, and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, thank you.
well, you've done again. I know you've done some Broadway shows, Moving Out, Hairspray.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you? Does it ever get frustrating to, or I guess even in a tribute band world, but more so Broadway, because Broadway everything is on the mark. So
Yeah.
is it? How hard is that to do? First off, with a rock band like the Lords, you get to stretch a little bit. And I'm in the comedy world, and same thing when I'm acting, especially live theater, you can stretch a little bit. But
yeah, no, I could never have like a career with the Broadway thing. I mean, I don't even read well enough to really do that anyway.
Oh, really?
I mean, I can read, but I'm not a good reader.
Oh, that's interesting. So how'd you get through these shows the ones that you've done?
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of I had to do the homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go through practice reading through it, practicing it before. And so that's definitely not my whatever talent is not is not in that world for me.
And I would think even when you did the Moving Out show, that's, for those of you who don't know, that was the Broadway play, a musical based on Billy Joel's music. It was all Billy's music.
Right.
Was that even harder to get used to? Because I'm sure you were probably used to playing that song in your own way or with bands and stuff, and now you have to play it a certain way, and it's got to be the same and exact.
Yeah, I mean that was cool because I got so much mileage out of it. I mean, I was playing parts that Dave Rosenthal had transcribed or pretty much transcribed for strings and synths and organ and accordion parts and whatever their miscellaneous synth parts were. So I wasn't playing any piano parts. Same with the Lords. I'm not playing any piano parts. So a lot of those parts I learned from the Moving Out score. And then, I started playing with like Mike Del Giudice even after that. It was like, oh, can you play the synths? So that prepared, I probably learned certain parts from David Rosenthal's book that maybe I would have played differently or whatever. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I got a lot of mileage out of that, to say the least.
Is there a lot of turf wars between all these Billy Joel bands? I'm just being stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
You don't have to say
to me,
word.
the Lord, the Lords are different because it's a totally, I don't see them as a tribute band. I mean, they're doing the Billy Joel music, but
well, all right,
it's a different thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just messing around, but do working with these guys, whether it's the Lords or people like Glenn Burton, members of Chicago, like we were saying before, does it give you any leverage, to get another musician because say Liberty's on it? But has it helped you when you're able to say you had people like Liberty DeVito on your recordings? Does that help you as far as getting work or some exposure with maybe even selling these Studio Deluxe songs on streaming? Like, does that give you any more? Has it boosted you at all?
I think the project is kind of getting a little, slowly getting a little bit more known and streamed, and hopefully it has.
Yeah.
Help me out.
I mean, it's a great idea. I'm not saying that's why you did it, but it's still a great marketing idea.
Yeah. I mean, to
featuring,
me personally, I'm really thrilled just to be working with the guys, and the fact that they like the songs, and is really gratifying and makes it worth continuing to do it.
Yeah.
To have, so it's been really fun to record and mix, promoting the stuff is not really that enjoyable, but it's it should be heard.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, the stuff sounds really good. Not everybody's going to dig every song. Every song is a little bit different, but they're all sort of in the same ballpark at the same time, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, if anybody's a Chicago fan or Michael McDonald fan, I think they'll love everything personally.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Andrea says, "Wait a minute. Did you play the show on Broadway in the beginning? If you did, that means I got to see you." How long were you with moving out?
For a number of years. I mean, I played the synth, but I didn't play every night. But I played a lot of shows there.
Nice.
For a number of years. Yeah, that was fun.
I bet.
That was fun. That was always always a good gig while it was running. It was cool.
Yeah, if I would imagine for guys like you that playing something like Moving Out or like the Who's Tommy or something, that would be fun to. If I was a musician, I'd be okay with playing those songs every night. Not like some like a boring opera or something. But
yeah, I could never do that.
Yeah,
never.
no way, no way. So, but you've also played with. You've played with some decent names: John Waite, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. So you know Al Pitrelli?
I wasn't in the band that there was like a East and a West.
Oh yeah, right. Yes, I forgot about that.
So I don't really know him.
Chris
Caffrey. I know Chris Caffrey.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Those shows must have been wild to do.
But they're changing people all the time.
Well, yeah. Didn't the main guy pass away a few years ago?
Well, the guy that created the whole thing.
Yeah.
O'Neill.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, they are still going.
But he wrote the whole thing.
Yeah. Those shows must have been a blast to do, I would think.
Yeah, there were big shows. That was cool.
What's the biggest concert or crowd wise? What's the biggest show you ever took part in? Was a part of?
Probably audience. Probably with them.
Sorry,
with them in an arena.
Well, hang on. We lost you. We lost you for a second. So what? We missed what band you said it was.
With TSO was probably the biggest audience.
Oh, okay. Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Okay.
Probably the biggest audience. Yeah, I mean, I haven't. I haven't played massive shows. I wish I had.
Well, that's you're not.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah, you're not doing too bad here. John Waite, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the Lords, playing Broadway. I mean, I wouldn't be complaining here, Doug Kistner. So let me see. I got that. Let's see. So what is there a song in the Lord? Were you a Billy Joel fan before you got involved with the Lords? I'm assuming you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody is, right.
Yeah. There's so many cool songs of his that I loved, and I would say the Stranger and 52nd Street albums. I had those records.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I had those records. Listened to them tons of times.
Is there a Billy Joel song that they haven't done that you're just dying to get your hands on?
That we haven't done with the Lords?
Yeah.
No, I think we've done a lot. We've done a lot of tunes. Yeah, we've done a lot. I don't think there's anything that we haven't done. I mean, for a little while we did that whole Nylon Curtain album.
Yeah.
Which I never even heard the album. I mean, I knew Pressure and Allentown, but Scandinavian Skies. That was a cool song I never heard of.
Oh wow! Yeah, she's right on time.
We did that. Yeah, we did that. Well, we did them all. So that was cool. I never even knew of that song.
Yeah, well, that's my favorite Billy album. I do have a beef with you guys though. When you guys did the whole 52nd Street album, correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't play the title track, right? You guys came out to the recording of that song.
Oh, okay. And we did. I don't even remember. I think that maybe was only one night, right?
Yeah, I think it was just a one-time thing, if I remember right. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been one. Yeah, we never played that last song. You're right.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to play that.
Yeah, that I was. I would have loved to have seen that one. I mean, it's a short song, but it's a groovy tune, a funky tune. I would have loved to have seen like a nice long jam with it, and all you guys having a minute to take a solo.
Didn't happen.
All right, well, put that in the files too. That I want to see an album, and I want to see you guys perform 52nd Street live. You tell them I said so. Let's see how fast they spring into action. And one person we haven't even mentioned yet, talking about the Lords and the Studio Deluxe recordings, you got Malcolm on a bunch of them. Malcolm Gold.
Yeah, man,
that guy's a monster,
great.
Man.
He's a great bass player. his sound, his parts.
Yep.
He's a good performer too. Yeah. He's great. Yeah, he sometimes gets overlooked or whatever because, I'm trying to promote. I just trying to promote this feature, the special guests.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, his bass tracks are great.
Well, yeah, and as a bass player, they are okay with just being in the background. They don't even want to be seen half the time, bass players. So I'm sure he's fine with it.
I hope so. Yeah, he's a good buddy.
And great bass player and just a super cool dude, man. That guy is awesome, Malcolm. He's just a great guy.
Yep.
Yeah. So I definitely wanted to throw his name out there because he's on a bunch. He's on a good bunch of them. Yeah. All right. So on top of the Broadway shows, you've also done work on the Celebrity Apprentice.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I was on a couple episodes of that show. Came out of the blue. I kind of don't even remember it, but yeah, I was on 2 different episodes, 2 different years, where they brought in some musicians to do whatever.
Yeah.
For the episode, and this is way before Trump was running for president. So I remember that I was in the elevator with these 2 guys with these fancy suits, and I didn't know who they were. Right. It turned out that they were his sons.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I didn't, I wouldn't have known who those guys were. I didn't know who they were, but I realized later, I was in the elevator with those guys, with his sons. They were checking up on the show and seeing what was going on. But
they say anything to you, like when the elevator door opened, they're like, "Out of the way, peasant."
I don't think so, but that was funny. That I realized later who those guys were.
Yeah. Well, so we're talking about the Celebrity Apprentice. So one of the celebrities that you had to work with was Marlee Matlin. Now, I'm not making any jokes here. I'm just asking on a serious level out of curiosity. I mean, I don't think she's completely deaf, but she's pretty deaf. So was that a big challenge for you?
I remember being with her when we were shooting something, but I didn't really deal with her or anything.
Oh,
but
okay.
I remember she was there. Dionne Warwick was there, and I remember I think we did 2 days.
Okay.
When she was there, and so when I went home, I said, "Let me go over this one song by her." Then Came You. So I said, if I get a chance tomorrow, I said to myself, if I get a chance tomorrow, I'm going to play that.
Yeah.
For her, and I did, and she came and sang along.
Oh wow,
it was real cool, and she loved that. She just loved it. She was very cool, and she gave me her card. She said, "Call my manager."
Nice.
And I did, and nothing ever came of it.
Hey, but you had that moment with her. That's a cool
moment with her, where it was me and her, and she was singing, that song she did with the Spinners.
Right.
And she appreciated it. She came right in with the
great piano part too to that song.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that track. That's a great song.
Have you ever crossed paths with Larry Russell? He was Billy's bass player when Billy first, when he was putting out Cold Spring Harbor and Piano Man.
No.
He tells a great story. He started dating a girl. He was, I think, around 20, 21. He started dating this girl, and the first time she invited him to her house, he went, but he had no idea. They just started dating. He didn't know her well. He goes to her place in the city, and it's this big, fancy place where she, you just look at it, there's money. So he was like, oh shit, I'm dating a girl with money. He's dating Lorna Luft, who is one of Judy Garland's daughters. He goes to the house. I mean, this is the story he tells me anyway, but he goes to the house, meets Judy Garland, and same thing. There was a piano there. He started playing it, and she sang "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" for him.
Oh, wow.
And it was just him and her and Lorna Luft. So when you talk about that moment with Dionne Warwick, I think about that. It's just probably the same type of feeling. Like, holy shit, I'm actually playing with this legend and one of those legendary songs. It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Celebrity Apprentice. So Dionne Warwick. But I saw a picture. And that's why I asked about Marley Matlin, because I saw a picture that you're in with Marley Matlin's there, and then LaToya Jackson was there too. So as a musician for the Celebrity Apprentice, would you have been intimidated if it was one of the talented Jacksons?
Maybe, yeah.
Have you ever worked with a musician where you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm... did you do that with Dionne or the Lords, or you're confident and you know what you got to do?
Oh, I mean, certain times I get nervous, and certain times I don't. It's kind of unpredictable with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, you mentioned before guys that have played, on Studio Deluxe, like you've mentioned Steely Dan, but you've also mentioned Whitesnake. I mean, that's
yeah.
That's there's a gap there. So
right.
So what are your favorites, like bands and stuff, or people? What are some of your favorites?
I mean, you know who my favorites are. Just Chicago, Steely, Doobies.
Right.
Are my favorites. I mean, I like Kansas too. I love Kansas. Genesis. Gino Vanelli's a great one.
Oh wow.
I love him.
Do you love these guys? Like you mentioned Genesis. I'm a huge Genesis fan. Is it just a music thing, or do you like them because you're a keyboard player and they have some crazy keyboard stuff?
No, I think it's just a musical thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I was into like heavy metal for a while. I wasn't really paying attention to the keyboards.
Oh wow!
In that 80s, it was a little period where I was more into heavy. Randy Rhoads. I love.
Sure.
I love those two Ozzy records and shit like that. I was so.
You had the hair. You had the mullet.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I had long hair. Yeah.
I was a little starstruck. I worked with Mike Rutherford once at a charity event, and that was a crazy. I was pinching myself. I actually pissed him off. It was a charity event, and Huey Lewis was there too, and it was the first. It was actually like talking about Dionne Warwick. It was a nice, cool moment for me because it was the first time Rutherford and Huey Lewis ever met. So I actually just got to watch that, and they were talking about each other's careers, and I thought that was kind of cool. But at this event, they played "Power of Love," and one of the many songs they played. And after the gig, Mike Rutherford was saying that he had a hard time. He was having a hard time playing that song, like the chord progression. And I should have kept my mouth shut, but I said, wait a minute. All those things that early Genesis did, and you had trouble with Power of Love, he didn't like that. I think that may have killed any more interaction with me and Mike Rutherford. But I'm a big Genesis guy. In fact, we were supposed to have, you know who Ray Wilson is by any chance?
No.
Ray, the last album Genesis ever made, Phil Collins had left.
Really?
They brought in this guy Ray Wilson, and the album didn't. That's why you don't know who he is, because the album didn't do anything. But we were supposed to get him on here, and he said yes, and then he ghosted me. I never heard from him again. So screw him. Screw you, Ray Wilson. So did you meet? So you met President Trump's son. Did you meet him when you worked on that show?
No, I didn't see him.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't there.
So also when I watched your John Bowden interview, forgive me, I don't remember if you said why or not, but you did say that there was a part of your life there where you you walked away from the music scene, or you walked away from writing. Was that
from the songwriting? No, I was always playing.
Oh, okay.
I was always playing, and I used to write and pursue. I used to send songs to labels and managers and publishers and shit like that, and then that just really just dried up. I mean, it totally dried up. Just the whole business did. So I stopped writing for a long time.
Is that a hard thing to do? Because I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming, again, same thing in the comedy world, guys, or the acting world. People get into the acting world because they want to act and they want to play tough roles and they want to be challenged. Same with musicians. You said you were sending your music out to labels and whatnot.
Yeah.
Is it hard? Is it a hard thing to step back and settle in and say, all right, well, I'm just a session guy, or like you said, you're doing the sessions, but you're also now pushing Studio Deluxe. So, do you just never give up, or do you just surrender and say, all right, I'm a session guy, or are you just happy to be playing music? Because again, to do it, full time is not an easy thing.
Yeah. No, I never. I was always a working musician, so I just had to no purpose in doing the songwriting. It was depressing. It was a drag.
Yeah.
But I just to write a song, and so it was just of not doing it. One that after I don't know how many years, and I said then I've been doing it ever since. So it's sort of like, and I wrote better songs than I ever did, just because I just was more selective about what I wanted to say, and
sure,
I'm definitely writing better lyrics, just because I cared more about what I really want to say and what I don't want to say, and I didn't hurry up to finish it. I used to just not worry about the lyrics too much when I was younger.
Are any of these songs that we've heard? So, whether it's you or Studio Deluxe, any of this stuff old songs that you've revisited, or this is all new, fresh stuff?
No, they were all fresh tunes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what brought you back? You stopped writing for a while. What is it? Just you had it in you, and I got to get this stuff out.
I wasn't planning on it at all. Yep, it just kind of. I said, you know what? I should finish this song and record it. Well, it just happened that I did it, and I really enjoyed doing it, and it came out better than I thought. And then did a few more. Then I asked Liberty to play on one of them, and then that's where we are. That's really kind of how it happened. So
and he's another one, Liberty. He's that guy. He's busy guy, and still plays with the same energy and craziness that he always had. And when I say craziness, I mean that in a good way.
Yep.
It blows me away. I mean, he's what? 75?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not
give or take.
Not sure now.
But it's amazing to me how he's still a monster. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Ken Freeberg is asking, what is Russell Javers really like? But he's kidding. He actually grew up with Russell Javers.
Russell's always telling a joke. He's great.
Russell is a funny dude, man. Yeah, he's a very funny dude. I don't know if you saw this or remember this. I saw you guys once at the cutting room.
Okay.
And
played there a few times.
Yeah, and I was sitting at a table that was right up against the stage, right up against it, and there was a guy sitting next to me. He had the cutting room is a great room. I love that place. The acoustics are good. It's a great place to see a show, but like a lot of places, it's a little tight.
It's small.
Yeah, so we're sitting there, and there's a guy who's sitting at the table, but his right shoulder is against the stage, right? So it's cramped, and he had a few different plates of food that he was eating. So to make room, he actually put a plate of fries on the stage next to him. And I remember, well, yeah, Russell came over, and you guys were in the middle of playing, and Russell came over and bent over and grabbed a couple of fries. I thought that was the funniest thing. I laughed for, I think, the rest of the show. I was laughing my ass off. Yeah, and then then we told the guy, hey, don't put your foot on the stage. What are you, crazy? That's like, that's blasphemy. You don't do that. But yeah,
I took the whole plate.
Yeah, right. Well, French fries. Yeah, I would have taken the whole plate of French fries. Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
Hey, Tony, I got to hit the road. I got an appointment coming up in a bit.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
No, not at all.
Studio Deluxe is the name of the project. You can get it wherever the music is streaming. It's great. You're going to love it. Doug, thanks for your time. Real quick, I know you're a Met fan, so let's go Mets.
Oh, wow. The Mets are hot.
Yeah, nice and hot. I think
they're hot.
The
Mets are smoking. Love the Mets.
Absolutely. Good.
Yeah.
So let's go Mets. Thank you, pal. Thanks for your time. Go get the Music Studio Deluxe. We look forward to hearing the new one on the 27th, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Hopefully I'll get to a Lord show and get to say hi to you.
Tony and Frank, thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm really glad you dig the music. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, pal. Thanks for your time.
I'll see you.
All right.
Take it easy. Thanks.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right. That's Doug Kistner, Studio Deluxe. It's Studio. Well, you see the logo. There it is. You see D''Lux. Right. All right. So Doug is gone. So with that, I don't know what to do now.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah. Did he not? I heard you talking when I was running the opening credits. Did he not know it was 90 minutes? I thought I told him, but
he didn't seem to. He didn't know he would be on the whole time.
Oh, okay.
So he was kind of surprised by that. But I said, you can stay on as long as you want to.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's what we do.
But he seemed to think, no, I'm going to get out early. So.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now it's just you.
Uh-oh.
Hang on. Let me see. Let me get. All right. So he's gone. So I'm taking the Studio Deluxe logo off. Okay. Let's see. That's that. I had some other. Yeah. All right. I had some other things I was going to ask him. Oh well. All right. So who's your? Out of those guys, the Lords, do you have a favorite?
I love Richie Sax playing. I love Liberty's drumming, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I probably relate as a musician more to Russell, just as a rhythm guitar player guy.
Right. Yeah, rhythm guitar players don't really get much attention, if you will.
No, their job is to do this, is to support.
Right. Right.
That's their role.
All right. John Rusiello is calling. Whoops.
Okay.
There we go. Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Wonderful. Hiya, Frank.
Hey, John. How are you?
Hi. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Thank you. How about you?
So I made a comment. I typed in a comment where I guess you didn't understand, where the music world lost a legend. All right. That was about Brian Wilson.
Oh, okay. That's what I figured.
In my opinion, Brian Wilson was the greatest. I rate him. In fact, I rate him a little higher than Sinatra. And there's no better fan for Sinatra than me.
Yeah, you just shocked me when you say that you rate him higher than Sinatra. Holy moly!
Well, because Sinatra got into some politics, and I just don't agree. If you're an entertainer and you're an artist, you bring in politics in your profession. I just don't agree with it.
Okay.
But Brian Wilson was my age, was in my era. I
Yeah.
grew up with Brian Wilson. I grew up with the Beach Boys, and it brought so much joy to the American people. All right, every song they sang, all right, it was just joy and laughter. My first school dance, they played nothing but Beach Boy music.
Oh wow!
All right, and it was just that was a true genius.
Oh yeah,
a true. I mean, there's a lot of them in the music world. You know, Billy Joel and listen, you know, but they were wholesome. They were true America. And I think people don't realize that, or if they think about it, they should realize that those brothers were true America.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The music about the beach and girls and cars. I mean, yeah, that's
and
America.
Surfing, yes, and it was just that's a talent that I don't think you'll ever see again. You know,
yeah, I mean, I hope that's not the case. I'd like to think, 100 years from now, they'll have somebody on that level to celebrate. We've been fortunate to live at the same time as people like Sinatra, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, and the list goes on and on. But yeah, I mean, in the past, people had, lived at the same time as Beethoven. And I'm sure, he was probably the biggest thing at some point,
Yeah.
So
and don't forget, the Beach Boys were in the middle, their fame was in the middle of the Vietnam War. And they were the only artist and entertainer that didn't mention the Vietnam War, didn't sing about the Vietnam War, didn't have songs about the Vietnam War, didn't make money on the Vietnam War.
Oh, that's an interesting point. I never thought of that.
Well, that's because you weren't involved in the Vietnam War. I'm an old fuck, so I have different opinions than you young guys. But think about that. All right, they were in the '60s.
Yeah.
And the '70s, and every song they brought out, and it played, overseas. It played the Vietnam War. There's documentaries that the GIs were singing, and in fact, I think Bob Hope, in one of his specials, they brought up some songs.
Yeah.
So that's to me that means a lot.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, the music is just amazing. And there's just like many celebrities, like I think of Darryl Strawberry. He had so many problems as a player and during his playing days, even after. But he's been out of trouble for a long time. He straightened himself out. And the same with Brian Wilson. That guy had a lot of issues in the '70s and '80s, and he bounced back. And still, even after he came back, there's some stuff he put out in the '90s and 2000s that I thought was just as good as the Beach Boys stuff in the '60s. So, like you said, a true genius. Now, let me ask you something, John, because you're talking about Sinatra, and I know I don't know as much about Sinatra as I probably should. Did he write a lot of his songs or no?
Well, no, he wrote he wrote some of the songs, but Paul Anka, Quincy Jones. Wrote a lot of his hits.
Right.
Well, Paul Anka wrote a lot of songs for him. Many artists that sang in that era wrote songs, and he would take the old school guys. I forget their names. There were two songwriters,
Lieber and Stoller.
Thank you. Yes, yeah. Sinatra. Listen, Sinatra was just a great lyricist. He enunciated every syllable, every word. He was just fantastic.
Right.
Okay, but he got forget about the organized crime stuff. He got involved in politics. He got involved in Kennedy. He got involved, which turns a guy like me off.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But that's my opinion.
Right.
And
you're allowed to have it.
Well, thank you. But you take away from your talent. Going back to the Beach Boys, the first concert I ever went to Jones Beach theater was the Beach Boys.
Yep. I saw them there a few times myself.
Yeah, and it was driving from the Bronx, out in the Meadowbrook Parkway to Jones Beach Theater.
Yep.
I thought I needed a passport in those days. But
if that doesn't summarize what the summer is all about, going to see the Beach Boys at a place like Jones Beach.
Jones Beach, exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly right. You know how much my ticket was?
Your ticket? What are you talking about? The 70s?
Yeah.
Your ticket was $3.50.
No, it was $22.50.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
It was $22.50.
Yep.
And that included parking, by the way.
Oh yeah. Though those were the days where you could park for free at places.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm old enough. I'm old enough to remember cheap concert tickets. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but because you always talk about concerts today, and
yep.
$300, $400, $500, $600, which is it should be Congress should step in on that. That's ridiculous.
Yep,
that's ridiculous because if the artist got all that money, that'd be fine. But it's I think the artist just gets a small percentage of that.
Correct,
if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think you are. Yeah, I don't know for a fact.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But anyway. All right, great guest, great show.
Thank you, pal.
Go on with your show, and tomorrow is Friday, and we'll have a lot of laughs on Friday.
Absolutely, we will.
Okay, Frank. Okay, Tony. All right.
Here, John.
God bless you, and God bless the Beach Boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goodbye.
Yeah, he's spot on. The Beach Boys. Yeah, that's why I asked about Sinatra's songwriting, because I think that makes you nothing against Sinatra, not taken away from him, but I think you're more of a genius when you actually wrote those songs that you're singing.
I looked that up. Apparently, from the one thing I saw, he wrote 4 songs.
Sinatra?
Yeah, and none of them were the famous ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, where Brian Wilson wrote a ton, and not just for the Beach Boys. He wrote for other people too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's that's a big loss. I've been listening to him ever since I heard yesterday that he.
Yeah, me too.
It's.
I got to meet him real quick one time.
You met him?
Very quickly.
What, when you were working for the keyboard company?
No, at Jones Beach actually. It was a double bill of him and Paul Simon.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's a good show.
Yeah, it was a great show. Brian opened up, and so when Paul went on. They had Brian go down to a booth in where the like the shirts and all that kind of stuff were.
The merchandise.
And all the merch, and they had him signing.
Really, after his set, he walks over to a booth where he's signing stuff?
Yeah, in the merch area, in the lobby area.
That's crazy.
And he didn't really talk much. He signed. He shook my hand real quick, and he signed something, and on you went.
So you didn't say anything to him?
I just said, "Nice to meet you, sir. Thank you for the music," that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And I think he smiled. He might have said thank you, and that was about it.
What did he sign to you?
I have his autograph.
Yeah. What did he sign?
Photo.
Oh, okay.
I think I brought the photo actually.
Oh, so you knew that was going to happen?
Maybe I don't remember now offhand.
Wow.
I think so. Yeah.
Huh. That's weird to me. Did he really need the money? He probably did.
Well, they weren't charging for autographs. They was just sit there to sign.
Really?
I don't remember buying anything. Yeah.
Wow. That shocks me even more.
Yeah, this was I think probably late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in there.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I don't remember buying anything.
I saw him. It was Nassau Coliseum, 1989. It was Chicago, the Beach Boys.
Yeah, I think I was with you for that.
Were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the middle of the Beach Boys set, they all walked off. Brian Wilson came out with his own band, and he did, yes. I think, like 5 or 6 songs, and then he stayed. Right. Then he stayed on with the Beach Boys after that.
Yeah.
And then all 3 bands played together for the encore, which I thought was crazy.
That was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the Beach Boys several times, but I think that was the only time I ever saw Brian Wilson, I think, which I would have loved to have seen him more. But
Yeah.
and the movie about him is good. The one that with John Cusack, where John Cusack
Great
plays.
movie.
Yeah, that
Love
was
and
good.
Mercy.
Love
Really
and
good
Mercy,
movie.
right? Yeah, great song. Did you see he just Brian Wilson just a few months ago re-released Love and Mercy?
The song? No, I didn't know that.
It's him and Roger Daltrey.
Really?
Yeah. Where they're not singing that much. It's some kind of charity thing, and there's a lot of annoying little kids singing.
Oh, okay.
But they're on it too. But yeah,
I love when he did the one of the George Harrison tributes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
He sang "My Sweet Lord."
Yeah. All right, let me see. Let me go back to some comments before we call it a day here. Kenny Forgione was watching.
Yep.
It's refreshing to hear about new songs at this stage of their career. It's tough to get it heard by the older fans. Was Ray Wilson supposed to zoom in? Ray Wilson was actually supposed to zoom in today. I contacted Ray Wilson about 2 weeks ago, asked him if he would do the show, and gave him the option of last Thursday or today. His email back was, hey, Tony, I would love to do the show. Let me know when. So in my head, I'm like, I already gave you an option of when. I gave you 2 options. What the fuck? So I wrote back, and at that point, we had somebody who was on last week. Oh, it was just us.
Right.
I don't know why I took that date off the table. I don't know why. But either way, I just said, how about June 12th? And I never heard back from him. And I actually emailed him again, just wondering, just if we're on for June 12th. Nothing. So I have not heard, other than his one response, I have not heard back from Ray Wilson, so I'm mad. Ann, that was a great interview. Thank you, Ann. Oh, you answered Kenny. Ray originally said yes, but never got back. Tony confirmed. Oh, okay. John on the phone. Ann agrees. Brian was so amazing. His music will live on forever. You'd like to think, certain music will live on forever. But I don't know. Beethoven. Would you say it's lived on forever? I mean, it's out there, but.
Oh, in classical fields, sure.
Classical fields, but that's my point. It's only the people that know that particular genre, where the Beatles, the Beach Boys in their prime, everybody, even now to a certain degree, everybody still knows that music. So I wonder if 100 years from now, will it still be, or will it just be people that'll, I love that old classical rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Well, speaking of which, did you ever see a video called Beatles 3000?
No.
It's on YouTube. It's a very, very funny video.
All right, I'll have to look for it.
It's people being interviewed as if it's the year 3000.
Oh, really?
And they're talking about the Beatles, and they're getting all the facts wrong and stuff. It's
that's
very,
funny.
very funny. You're going to love it. It's very, very funny.
Fremder, I hate when musicians talk about Beethoven like they think they know all the paintings he's done. Andrea Kirill, I miss waiting in line 30 hours for tickets. It was so much fun making friends every year for Billy tickets. Third row right side, stage left in front of the piano. Man, do I have great stories. Yeah, I actually do miss that too. I used to love hanging out online for shows, and it was exciting, and even for movies too. Movies were, they were an event before cable and streaming. Lines wrapped all around the neighborhood to get into the movie theater. Like, that was fun. You'd be hanging out online, seeing people hanging out. I used to wait online all night for Mets tickets. It was every February where they would put the tickets out, and it was freezing cold, and I would sit outside, and freezing. But yeah, concerts too. I would wait in line, and then Rob Notaro, who was in here last week, and we talked a little bit. He owned a CD store in the 80s and 90s, and in the 90s he got a Ticketron or Ticketmaster machine in his CD store. So at that point, I met Rob because he owned CD stores, and we just became close friends. You actually used to work at a place that supplied Rob with some of his merchandise.
Right.
So we both got to know Rob. He became one of my closest friends, all from just the music scene. And so when he got the Ticketmaster machine, I became the guy that he would pay me in CDs. Yeah, I would be the guy that would stand outside and organize the line, tell people where to go, announce like what, if things are selling out or if there's any announcements to be made. I would answer questions. And it was so much fun. And yeah, like you said, Andrea, they were, you got to know people because, you had your regular customers or, you just have fun out there talking and hanging out, and, and then too, seeing the excitement when people would come out, what'd you get? And they show you how good or bad their tickets were. I remember one year, Islanders season tickets went on sale the same day as a bunch of shows at Giant Stadium for the Grateful Dead. It was the same day. So we were panicked. We didn't know what to do. How do we handle this? Like, do we, because, what if there's too many, what if the first 100 people are for hockey tickets? What about the Deadheads? Like, we weren't sure. So we actually created two different lines. We had a line for Islanders and a line for Dead. But we weren't thinking in advance. On the Ticketmaster machine, you have to log out for one event, then log in for the other event. Oh. And again, this is the 90s. This is early 90s, so this wasn't fast internet back then. So you had to wait a good 5 minutes back and forth. And that's what we were doing. We were leapfrogging. Okay, a Deadhead go in. All right, they're done. Islander go in. Back and forth. So each time it was taking almost 5 minutes in between each interaction because, I don't know what the alternative would have been because if we did just one to make it go faster, that means these other guys would have had to wait longer. So we didn't know which way to go. But I'll never forget it. These Deadheads, they're all hippies and hippies are all peace and love. But man, these Deadheads were getting so mad. I thought, I really did. I thought it was going to get physical. I really thought I was going to get my ass kicked. It was bad. And I remember trying to tell them, hey, look, we're doing the best we can. And I was explaining to them, it takes a few minutes to, for the system. And they didn't want to know it. They just wanted their tickets. They were mad. But we did the best we can. I never forgot that because I really did. It came very close to physical. It was ugly. All right.
I remember one time I got very lucky when McCartney tickets were on sale. And I was online at Rob's store, and he called my number. I was the first one.
The days of bracelets and all that.
Yeah,
like we call a number and it starts there. Yeah, right. And you were the first
called
number.
My number. I was like,
wow.
And then I think people were pissed at me.
Oh, I'm sure. I do remember one time one guy saying that a guy come up to me. I forget what the event was, but a guy came up to me. I know you guys are, messing with tickets and getting yourselves and putting your friends at the front of the line.
Oh.
And I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, man. And because we didn't do that. Right. Did Rob get me tickets? Yeah, absolutely did. That was, like I said, he either paid me in CDs or he got me tickets for working. Right. Yeah, absolutely did. But, it's 30 years later. He's not going to get in trouble. But but that was it. We weren't putting friends at the front of the line. We weren't doing... And the guy, I can remember his face. I don't know his name, but I remember his face. If it's 30 years later. I don't know if I'd recognize him, but I remember his face from back then. He used to come into the store complaining all the time. He was a real jerk. But he was completely wrong.
Sheesh.
But yeah, Andrea, I'm with you. Those were fun times. Oh, Fremder. Brian Wilson died in his room. That's pretty good. Wouldn't it be nice if Brian Wilson was still alive? Yes. All right, everybody's saying goodbye. I guess Brian Wilson can't hear the music anymore. Where did Brian Wilson's soul go? God only knows. Oh, my goodness. All right, I'm going to stop there with the Fremder jokes. All right, we're out of there. We're out of here. Peter Schwartz coming up at 1 o'clock. Big show today. He's talking to Joe Theismann. Joe Theismann will be on the phone. That's a big deal. So nice. That's today at 1 o'clock. Primal Scream with Nick Greystone tonight at 8 o'clock. Coffee with the Dog tomorrow morning at 9. And then me and Rosie back here tomorrow morning at 11. And I think there's a Donversations tomorrow night. I think so. Pretty sure. All right. And of course, don't forget Governor's Comedy Club, the main club here in Levittown, the Giggle Room here in Levittown. the Brokerage in Belmore, and McGuire's out in Bohemia. Some of the comedians you'll see on the Governor stage this weekend, Ben Bankus. Actually, he starts tonight. He's here tonight and tomorrow. And then tomorrow night for a late show, Anthony Rodia. And then Anthony is back here Saturday doing 2 shows. Tracy Carnazzo is here tomorrow night. Chris Barnes is in the Brokerage, is at the Brokerage tomorrow and Saturday. And then some other guy at McGuire's on Saturday as well. Go to govs.com, govs.com. Check out the full schedule. Get yourself some tickets. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com. Check out our schedule and what we got going on, as well as information how you can hire us for your event. And, again, tell everybody you know about all the great shows here at Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. Check out Studio Deluxe. Some cool tunes. He's got another one coming out June 27th. We thank Doug Kistner for his time. Anything with you that you're pushing or no?
Nope, it is quiet.
Okay.
Bless you.
Thank you. We're, did you see Diane smack me on Tuesday?
She told me she was going to.
She did.
Yeah, I saw it.
Making that noise at the end of Frank's song.
That was so funny. I still cry when I watch it.
I thought it was a good ending. Okay. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you at 1 o'clock for Peter. Thank you, Frankie.
Thank you.
All right, goodbye.